Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to another episode of Space Engineer Survival. I'm WiliestSoup. This is going to be a rather unique episode. As you could tell, I have quite a bit of different stuff here. I've been trying to get things ready because I want to go to space. It's something that I think I should actually try to do by the end of this episode, because I'm kind of sick and tired of hanging out here on this planet's surface. I mean, not that I'm sick and tired of it, but there's definitely better things that I could be doing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get to work on this, and you're gonna see little snippets of everything getting completed as I get ready to build my ship to go into space. And as you can tell, this is the skeleton of a connector, and I'm going to be putting together this connector, and this is where the ship is going to basically begin. So let's get started, shall we? So one thing that I kind of wanted to try to complete before the end of the episode, I mean, I realize like a lot of you are like, wow, it's about freaking time, but it just so happens that I realized that I wasn't doing a whole lot. I was kind of just messing around, wasting time. And so, let's see here. Let's do that. Let's definitely do that. And let's put, well, actually, let's take you away. But one of the things that I kind of wanted to do was get all of this set up so that way I could start building really fast. There we go. Let's put you out like that. You out like that. And why don't we put in an additional 2? So let's come over here. 1. Okay. So anyways, I really appreciate you guys coming out for this episode today. I am excited to get things done here. I will be doing my best to entertain you guys as I can, but the odds are I'm going to be kind of focused on trying to get things put together and completed. So let's see if we can't find a hydrogen tank. There we go. That's what I wanted, because I'm going to be having this thing run on hydrogen, just pure hydrogen. And of course I don't have any steel plates, so I need to come up and around, and let's just grab as many steel plates as we can, because I have a bunch of interior plates. I also did a bunch of work with the mining ship. I will show you guys what that looks like in a second. But while we're waiting, let's get these up. Okay, so what do you need? Large steel plate. So why don't we just get rid of those. Oh, I was gonna put something there, wasn't I? That's right. So 9. Oh, nope. 4. There, I'm gonna do that. But yeah, so today is kind of an interesting day. I had to take care of a lot of stuff inside the house. So and I'm a little late getting to this. I usually start around 3 o'clock. And it's 5:30 right now. So hopefully when you guys get this, it'll be around 10 o'clock tonight. Because that's usually when I try to release, is once everything's rendered and edited and uploaded and put together correctly, that's when I kind of start, or at least I try. Ooh, that would be kind of dumb if I left without an extra hydrogen bottle here. Oh, I guess it makes sense if I don't have a crap ton of interior plates. So yeah, this episode might be a little long, but my hope is to get a lot of stuff done and completed. At least that's my goal, like I said, for the 100th time. Construction components. Construction components. There you are. There we go. There we go. I'll get those done. So, anyways, I'm going to tell you guys a cool little story, because I told the Farming Simulator people that watch Farming Simulator story. Not going to be the same one, so don't worry about that. If you watched Farming Simulator and you watched episode 4, I think it was, then you should already know about that one. And so it's not going to be the same one. Anyways, this is about another car of mine. Just so you guys know, I'm not proud of it, but I'm proud of it. And that probably makes no sense, but there's a reason why I'm saying what I'm saying for right now. I have never spent more than $550 on a car. And it just so happens that the $550 car was my wife's. It was a Nissan Maxima. And that is the nicest vehicle I've ever purchased in my entire life. It was in a really bad wreck, so that's the reason why I picked it up for so cheap. But anyways, so short story. I go down to Portland because this guy is selling a Saturn, 1999 Saturn SL. You guys may recall that I have a 1998. I have owned 3 different types of Saturns in my life. And so I had my first Saturn was this 1999 one. This was actually my 3rd car. And one of my favorites. I love this little car. I think was with me for a long time. So anyways, I go down and I pick up this little Saturn, and I haggle with the guy. He was selling it for $500, and I was like, I kind of listed some of the stuff that were wrong with the car. Like, I drove it around for a little bit. I noticed that the steering was a little loose. I also noticed that it most certainly had not been aligned ever. I mean, it probably had. I probably should give the guy a benefit of the doubt, but it was struggling. That's all I'm saying for that. Long story short, this guy was like, well, yeah, and I was like, and the tires are bad, I'm gonna have to replace the tires. Anyways, he was selling it for $500. I got him down to $350, which I was pretty proud of, because you know what, I don't know if you guys know how the licensing process works, but here in Washington State, if you have a vehicle from Oregon and you're transferring title to Washington State, it's an additional $50. Yeah, that's right, I said that, $50. It's an additional $50. So it ends up being like $138 after tax just for the title. So it's expensive. So that's the reason why I was kind of glad I got him down on that, because not only am I going to have to make those repairs, but I also have to pay for the brand new title so that way I can legally own the vehicle. Anyways, long story short, the guy signs over the title, and we trade cash. We, shake hands, and I walk off. We go and I fill up the car with gas so that way I could. Oh, I don't need that. I need computers though, right? I think. So I take off, and as I leave, the guy gives me a phone call, and he says, I forgot to mention that I don't have the original key, which, if you're me, that's kind of a red flag. But he's like, I don't have the original key, but because the key he gave me was the spare, and he says, but I will send it to you. He never did. Anyways, large steel tubes, and so I'm driving home and stop for gas, get something to eat, and I start driving on the freeway. Now, because I'm smart and I've never driven this car before, I'm driving 60 miles an hour. Speed limit here in Washington State, at least where I live, is 70. And so I'm driving 60 miles an hour. I'm on the right side of the road, and lo and behold, as I'm driving along, I hear a ticking noise. And it's not loud, but it's enough to where I start getting nervous. So I go and I just keep driving along, and then it starts getting louder and louder, and it goes tick, 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 tick. And, oh, that's funny. I completely turned off my jetpack. I almost died, guys. Anyways, so I go and pull over, and I look underneath the hood, try to find what's making that ticking noise, and couldn't find it, so I get back on the road. As I get back on the road, I notice, oh, it's ticking again. And as I look at my speedometer, I can see that my speedometer is moving every single time it ticks. Now, I don't know, at this point, I didn't know a whole lot about cars. I definitely know a whole heck of a lot more than I did. But I do know this. But I did know this. Anything to do with the tachometer has to do with the transmission. And if that transmission was going to have issues, I was really scared because, you know, a transmission going out, that means I have to get a tow truck. It's all the way down in Portland, Oregon, which is about 40 miles away from my hometown, which, you know, whatever. If I have to get a tow truck or if I have to get a flatbed to go get it, that's fine, but I would rather not. So I start getting a little nervous, and as I have the thought of this is the transmission, I probably should pull over, it sounds like a hand grenade goes off underneath my car. And I mean, literally to the point where shrapnel is hitting my firewall. I could feel pieces of metal slamming into the firewall. The transmission just doesn't, you know, it basically self-destructed. So as I'm driving along, this blows up. I have to pull over. Amazingly, the car didn't stop. It was fine. None of the pieces jammed into a gear and caused my wheels or my drivetrain to lock up, which that was a miracle, because that could have killed me. Because I was going on a hill and things would have been very bad if they had not worked out right. Anyway, so I pull over and I look inside to see what had possibly caused it. And as I look inside, or I lift up the hood, and as I look inside, does anybody who works on cars knows what transmission fluid looks like, right? They color code it for a reason. They color code, like take for instance coolant. Coolant is green, so that way if it's leaking, you can tell, oh, that's coolant. It's fairly easy to figure out what's coolant. So lo and behold, transmission fluid is red. It is blood red. It looked like I had killed something underneath my hood, because there was transmission fluid everywhere. It looked like blood was all over the inside, and freaked me out, freaked my dad out. I mean, it didn't freak us out. We knew what it was, but man, anyways, I get on top of the engine because I had to look down at the transmission and I wasn't about to get underneath it. So I get on top of the engine with a flashlight and I look down at the back, and there is a hole in this transmission the size of a cantaloupe. That's about as size as a human head. It's that big. I can see all 5 of the transmission gears, and I was just blown away at what happened. Anyways, long story short, what ended up happening is there's what's called a speedometer rod in a Saturn. Now, somebody may know, who knows Saturns better than I do, may know the actual name for it, but that's what I call it, is the speedometer rod, because that's the best thing I have to go by. Let's see, how are we doing on ice? We still have quite a bit. We're going to be going through it here pretty quick, but we might have to go get more. Anyways, so as As I was driving along, this speedometer rod broke. And because it had broken, it started to rattle. It wasn't exactly synchronous anymore. That's why or not speedometer rod, tachometer rod. So the tachometer rod was, no, it was speedometer. It was my speedometer. Sorry. So the speedometer rod, which how it works is the speedometer rod has a magnetic strip on the side and a little gear on the end, and there is a sensor that senses when a magnetic field goes by it. So, and then it calculates how fast that magnetic field goes by or rotates, and it calculates how fast your tires are turning, which is actually really quite ingenious if you think about it. But also the reason why, if you get bigger tires on any of your vehicles, it doesn't quite read right on your speedometer. So, long story short, this had broken. The gear had split because there was a fault in it. So, or not split, but one of the teeth had split, and it got caught, broke the rod, and the rod got stuck in the primary gear or master gear. Got stuck in the primary gear, and well, what's going to give a gear that's designed to withstand a lot of pressure, or a transmission wall which isn't designed to handle much at all? So obviously you can figure out which, and transmission basically gave a little fat finger to the rod gave a big old fat finger to the transmission and blew a hole in the side. So there's an interesting little story for you guys. Okay, what else do I need? I'm really glad I got that those hydrogen tanks up and running, because I'm going to really want to get those get hydrogen into this craft as soon as possible, or at least producing for this craft. So let's do that. You can go in here. Let's come down here and grab another hydrogen tank, 100 bottle. And what did I need? Was it steel plates? Let's do steel plates first. So that's the interesting story for this episode. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to most likely cut here, and I will be done or back when all of this platform is finished. I will see you guys then. Well, it looks like I ran out of steel plates, or not steel plates, but I ran out of, what is it called? Iron. I ran out of iron. So because I ran out of iron, I need to go fix shit. So here we go. Let's go hop into, you guys like it? You guys notice anything different? There's a lot different, actually. I did a lot of stuff to it. So let's turn the power on. Let's go. So I need some iron, as well as, well, actually I just need some iron for right now. Let's go over here and get it. Mining some iron. What is with these small, narrow veins of iron? Iron's incredibly abundant on the earth. I don't understand why. Oh, well, I guess this isn't technically the earth. And would you look at that? We got ourselves a bunch of iron and stone. But hey, I didn't want the stone, but it came with me anyways. So let's get out of here. And let's turn off you and get out. So hopefully it'll start making steel grids again. And of course we're out of ice. Alright, so let's go get that. Alright. Yeah, I'm back. You guys remember that one time when I went to go get ice and that didn't work out so well? Fixed that problem. Nice. Let's just make sure that we don't come down a little too fast, shall we? Alright. Time to go get some more ice. And we got some more ice. Okay, let's go see how much we got now. Let's check. Inventory. Wow, it is going through that ice fast. Okay, let's go lock it up and get some ice put in there. Okay. I don't know how I feel about that. Things are going to be a little interesting here for a little bit, aren't they? I swear I need another person in this series. Wow, that's frustrating as hell. Well, I broke it, so there's nothing here anymore. I have to start from scratch. You know what? This is taking way too long. I think I'm going to be putting in a couple more refineries right here. Is where it would be a good idea to put them. So let's see. I need to get some steel plates. And do I have it in the menu? Nope. So let's get the refinery. There it is. Awesome. Let's rotate it and get it to where it needs to be. Perfect. Awesome. 3. If I can fit 3 on that side, I should be able to fit 3 on the other side. So let's... Man, 6 would be nice. It'll suck power like crazy, but man, that would be nice. Yeah, I can't put any right there because that stupid control panel. That's right, I forgot about that. So it's gonna have to go all the way up against the end. No matter. 6 it is. That'll bring up to 8 refineries. This is gonna be sweet. And done. Awesome. All of them are put in now. This is sweet. Oh, this is gonna be amazing. It's gonna make things so much faster for me. Oh, that's interesting. Oh. They call it yield, power, and speed modules? That's awesome. That makes it so much easier to understand instead of efficiency and effectiveness and power module. I guess that one's pretty much stayed the same, but still, that makes it so much easier to understand what's going on. Cool, so let's get all these put in, and we will have ourselves refineries that are not only badass, but efficient. So let's get that done. And done. Awesome. Oh, this is going to be sweet. I'm so excited to have all of these done now. Now that took way too long. I had to go get so much iron just to get that completed, and unfortunately the TIM system isn't working as efficiently as I'd like it to. I had to actually undo TIM Auto just so that way I could get it to actually produce metal grids, so that way I could actually finish the efficiency modules. I mean, not efficiency modules. Dang. I even fell into that trap, didn't I? No, I mean the, what are they called? Yield modules. That's it. Got it. Sweet. Okay, so now that that's done, why don't we go make a pooper for the base? You guys will see what I mean. Okay, so I'm finishing up this. I got a conveyor sorter as well as a connector, and I'm going to make it so that way this actual station will throw out all the stone. Because I think I have enough gravel. Once I get to the point where I need gravel again, I'll just turn it off and I'll just go get some stone. But let's see. Keep missing some pieces here. Right. Okay. And there it is. Perfect. That should be just enough to finish it up. And there's the butthole. And there's the intestines. And once this is done, we're going to be able to have ourselves some fun. Awesome. I'm so excited to show you guys this. Ah, look. See, it's pooping. Yay. Good for you, station. You can poop. It's so exciting. Awesome. Well, folks, that looks like it's it for me. I've been at this for about 3 hours now, so it's kind of ridiculous for me to continue on. I really need to get to editing this video so that way you guys have something to watch. I hope I can edit it, get it rendered, and upload it in time before midnight. If I can't, I apologize, guys. I'm really sorry. I did do my best, but I tried to get a bunch done this time in this round so that way I wouldn't have to worry about and you know, trying to do more next time. I always seem to do that. But see, we got ourselves a ship up and running. We got ourselves 6 refineries this episode, so that's awesome. And on top of that, we're able to get ourselves into a rather good position, in my opinion. But I really appreciate you guys coming out. It just so happens that I was not, or sorry, Jezebel was not able to make it today. She ended up having to go into work, and so she apologizes once again. We really are going to try to get together at a good time, so maybe possibly this weekend, so that way we can record an episode for you guys. Either way, thank you guys for coming out. If you guys like this video, please hit the like button down below. It really helps me out and helps me know what you guys like and dislike, so that way I can make better content for you. And if there's something that you liked or didn't like, please let me know down in the comment section. I would love to hear from you guys, or just say hi down there. I love talking to you guys as well. It's really nice. Also, if you guys would happen to share this with any friends that you think would like it or be entertained by it, I'd really appreciate it too. And also in the comment section, leave me a note or anything, or leave me a comment of what you guys thought of the new editing style. I just tried it out because I thought it would be a good, little bit faster for you guys. But anyways, last of all, if you guys do not or are not subscribed, I would really appreciate it if you guys would subscribe to my channel. I do release videos every day, and I do have a regular schedule as well as some fun stuff mixed in between. So anyways, thanks guys for coming out. I really appreciate you hanging out with me, and I'll see you guys all on Monday for this series of Space Engineers Survival. Thank you guys. Bye.